Hey Hofstra fans, it's time once again for the WBB Masons Coaches Report. I'm Rob Joyce, joined as always by the head coach of Hofstra women's basketball, Krista Kilburn-Steveskey. Coach, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing okay, Rob.
And then over the weekend, your team falls at James Madison 85-62. You have a lead early in the second half, then things kind of get away from you. What did JMU do in that second half?
You know, obviously you have to always give your opposition credit. You know, they had been switching from man to zone in the first half as well. So, you know, we started off on fire in the second half and really were, going to Shantae Evans, and they didn't really have an answer to that. But then they switched to a zone around, 17:40, so only like a minute and a half, 2 minutes in. We scored really quick. AO hit a bucket at the a nice little overload and hit a bucket. Come back down. Tariq Hislop hits that's pretty funny. Tariq Hislop hits a three. We kind of went under a double screen. She hits a three. The crowd just goes crazy because obviously we silenced the crowd. They had about 3,000 people. It was phenomenal to be in that type of environment, to have that type of support. And the crowd goes crazy. The crowd really gets into it. We got a little bit succumbed to that emotion. We come down, we turn the ball over a few times, and just couldn't. Things happened that we could have gotten back on track even with the turnovers. Shantae Evans goes to the free throw line. We missed it. We had opportunities, and we just let the best of it take us away. And it was unfortunate, very unfortunate, very very disappointing for us to be in that situation when we have suffered from stuff like that earlier in the season. And I called I think 4 timeouts. Probably the first I've called that many, at least 3 in a row, to try to stop the momentum and and the crowd noise. So that's what happened.
A loud crowd. How easy is it for things to snowball like they did?
Yeah, it's probably the biggest crowd that this crew has played in front of this year. Last year we went out to Gonzaga, and that was like 7,000 screaming people. So, really, even if you're at a place with someone else's crowd, still the generation of the buzz and the excitement. I know as a player I always enjoyed that. So, you can't quantify one thing. It was several things. It was how we responded to not scoring, how we responded, how our body language responded. Stuff that's frustrating to me because we're too good of a team to be doing that. And leadership on the floor again when that's going down. You saw people try to rise up, but when your 2 seniors and your sophomore are struggling a little bit, trying to get everybody else involved is a big key.
Now, what were the positives you took away from the game?
Well, a lot of people did stand out. Key people that might be coming off the bench. Annie Payton had 10 points. I saw people trying to get everybody back on track on the floor. Shantae and Candace Bond were leading, a ton in the first half, and they were trying to do their best in the second half, pointing and trying to talk. So, you certainly saw that. Players that were responding to you even yesterday, coming by the office, or just trying to, let you know that this loss does not define us. So, those are the things that you can only ask for your team to respond like that.
And Candace Bond, a second career double-double for her. What did you see from her differently on offense?
Well, I mean, we all told her coming in this game this was your game. They weren't going to guard her. They usually use her man to play and double down with Shantae, so I thought she just took advantage of that.
And then coming on this week, you have a home game against George Mason on Thursday, a team that you already beat once this year.
Yeah.
What do you remember from that George Mason game?
I remember, a lot of turnovers. They pressed the entire game. There were a lot of waves that they had, a lot of momentum, shifts in their favor too. And when we just responded, Asia Jackson had good minutes. Ruth Sherrill had good minutes, down there. So it was a combination of a lot of things. We didn't let we just kind of, went the distance with their press and really answered, and were able to stretch the lead out. But it was a tight game, till 10, 8 minutes in the second half.
When you play teams multiple times in a season, how often do you go back and look at that first game?
You definitely go back. It wasn't that long ago. They're still doing the same thing. They're pressing, they're playing zone. I'm sure they'll just, even just rev that up even better with the zone. And the Strickland, I think, is back for them, so they've got somebody back in their lineup playing a little more minutes. So, we'll certainly go back and realize, where we were and what we need to do to control the game even more.
Then after Thursday, you go on the road for 2 road games. So how important is it to get that victory at home, get back in winning ways?
Well, it's big, and we've been beat on the rebounding boards too. I mean, we still got beat by Jamie, even though I thought we rebounded better in the second half. We just didn't put 2 halves together. I think it was 38-45 in that game, and then we got out rebounded pretty bad against Mason. So, we just got to continue to focus on rebounding, focus on our defensive end, and then attacking against the zone. So those are our key points for the week.
And Sunday you go down to Newark, Delaware to take on the Fighting Blueheads.
Yeah.
Of course, Elena Deladon. How do you contain her?
Well, I mean, I guess one of the biggest things right now is that we certainly need to focus for the players, obviously, on this next win, and don't make that mistake of looking ahead. So that'll be definitely, our words today. And then, then obviously take that as it is. And I thought Drexel did a good job of trying to contain her as much as possible, keep the game in low-scoring numbers, and then Tremaine Lucas, drains the three under 2 minutes and just kind of buries it. And that's what Delaware is this year. You can take away one thing, and Lauren Carra has 28 points. So, I mean, it's going to be collective, team win here against them, and they're probably going to be top 25 by then, so it'll be fun to have a shot at somebody top 25.
That's where Delaware's really improved. Instead of just Deladon with 40 points, you have Lauren Carra, who had a big game winner against Princeton. So how do you find that balance between stopping Deladon, but then you can't let anyone else go?
Yeah, it's either like a lot of people will say, if she has a bunch, contain the rest. We've tried that in the past. She had 49 and 47, where she had against us last year, and they won both games. So it's like you've tried either minimize her points if you have someone that could actually do that physically enough to really match her up, or you try to minimize everybody else's. So it's a strategy for sure.
How do you walk away with 2 victories this week?
The same thing. I mean, our defensive end can't be defined by our offensive end, and that's what we were different, until the JMU debacle. We were not defined. If we didn't score, people weren't like getting too worried about it, and certainly we want to score, but we weren't letting that affect us on the defensive end, and that's what it did on Sunday. So it's like defensively we need to maintain that status quo, not let that slip away, give up somebody 85 points like we did, play a really good defensive game, and then definitely work the ball, be a little more patient on offense, and get high quality shots. So that's definitely what we're going to focus on this week.
Krista Kilburn-Steveskey, thanks as always for the time.
Thank you.
Hofstra takes on George Mason Thursday at 7. You can watch and listen to the game at GoHofstra.com through the Pride Zone. I'm Rob Joyce. Thanks, Hofstra fans, for tuning in to the WB Mason's Coaches Report with Krista Kilburn-Steveskey.